Hello, I'm Mark. Thanks for joining me here in my wee workshop in County Down in Northern Ireland. I want to say these things because it's 25 years since I was a laser physicist, but I remember the safety talks that we were given like it was yesterday because the consequences are so high. I've seen a few YouTube videos of these CNC laser cutter machines, and I'm a little bit concerned about some of the safety aspects of these machines and how they're being used. Now, if you're watching this, you've probably got 10 plus years in your home workshop, but lasers are different. You can't see a laser beam until something is either scattering or reflecting it right into your eye. For example, there's been a laser beam between me and the camera the whole time while I've been speaking, but you can't see it until I show you. So as you can see, until there's something for the laser to reflect from, you can't actually see it. Now this one is very low energy, so it isn't especially dangerous, but the laser that you might have in your home workshop can easily cut through an appreciable thickness of wood. If it can go through that amount of wood, it can go through your or somebody else's retina in a lot less than the blink of an eye. Now I've noticed that a few of these laser cutters have a flat, plain substrate, base surface, and some folks are using a piece of sheet metal, something like this, as a sort of protective layer. I've even seen the use of sort of white melamine material as well. Now both of these are at least partially reflective surfaces which could potentially reflect very powerful laser light into someone's eye. Do you ever have visitors in your workshop? Do your kids or your grandkids ever come in to visit you in your workshop? If anyone gets this kind of energetic laser light into their eye, they will be permanently blinded. There's no point running down to the emergency room. It's not like having a finger sewn on. They will be permanently blind. So please, 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 never put a reflective surface underneath a laser. Remember, it might just be partially reflective like this sheet metal, but it could be a smooth surface that could get wet. It could be a shiny tool like a spanner or a chisel that's somewhere in the work area. It could be the head of a screw or a nail which is in the workpiece. Yes, I agree, it's a 1 in a million or a billion chance, but the consequences of that gamble are so high that it is just not worth taking the chance. So I'm going to repeat myself, never, never, never put a reflective surface underneath a laser. Okay, so am I saying that these things are too dangerous and that you shouldn't have them in your workshop? No, that would be silly. We have new technology in our workshop all the time, and we know that there are hazards associated with them. But with ordinary conventional power tools, we know what those hazards are, and we know where not to stick our finger because you can see that. Lasers are different. The hazards that are associated with them are not intuitively obvious, and they are completely new to us, so you can't guess. We need to be extra careful. Now, here are a few ideas that I want to throw out for discussion. I'm not advising you about these things. I've got to admit, I am not an expert on these things. Full disclosure, I don't even have one. And the only one that I've seen close up is an industrial type one. But here are a few ideas. First of all, discourage visitors when you're in the workshop and you're doing some sort of laser cutting. In other words, you and you alone with your safety goggles on. You don't have to lock yourself in, but it might be a good idea to put a sign on the door. Danger, laser cutting, don't enter. Number 2, consider a different kind of substrate. The industrial machine that I had seen had a sort of corrugated metal which was end on like this. So the workpiece sat on a substrate that was made of corrugations of metal, and they weren't of shiny metal like this. They were all painted matte black. And that meant if the laser was coming down this way and there was an unexpected reflection, it would scatter around inside these vertically oriented corrugations and be dissipated as heat. 3, maybe you could think about a surrounding box which could double up as a smoke extraction hood. The industrial ones that I've seen all have these hoods built over them with a sort of what I would call a bonnet of a car that you can put down over it, and that doubles as a smoke extraction area. Maybe you could cut down on stray or the possibility of stray reflections by having an enclosure around your cutting area. Do use your laser cutters. But do be careful and realise these things are hazardous. Don't take any chances. Thanks so much for listening, and get in touch with me. Let me know what you think.